Please. Who was Ramona Shelburne just having coffee with?
The guesses are in.
It's a great question.
Well, apparently there is a late ad in terms of either information or a guest. Let's go back to League Pass, Luke. What the hell's going on?
Well, I was asking Ramona. Well, I didn't really ask. She gave a hint. Apparently.
You spoke
but
to
I don't know who
it
it was.
Cheating.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I have to call the guest.
All right.
It's a Stanford person.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So if Dibs wants to give one more guess,
One
we'll
more
allow
guess.
it.
Cameron Brink.
Okay, let's go. Let's go
Thank you.
live to ESPN's hoopsologist, Ramona Shelburne, our good friend Momo. Momo, please, who were you just having coffee with?
What your guesses were. What were your guesses?
Okay, they started with Grandy guessed LeBron James.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you guessed
Ty Lue,
and Luke, your guess was
The logo, Jerry West.
the logo Jerry West.
But I didn't know
wow.
Stanford.
Yeah. Have you ever had coffee with any of those people before?
Ty, not coffee, but I've met Ty before
Whoop.
at something like that.
Yeah.
Or like events in LA and stuff.
Sure.
And then Jerry West. I guess I could have coffee with Jerry West if I wanted to. You know?
Win, yeah.
I don't think LeBron would. LeBron
No,
would
he's a
no.
red wine guy. You'd have red wine with him.
And that's not. I'm like, he'll talk to us at a press conference, but he's not really trying to schmooze the journalists anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Here comes the big
Here's the reveal.
The big reveal.
So,
Ramona Shelburne. Who were you having coffee with?
Women's basketball coach at Stanford, Kate Pay.
Kate Pay,
you
ladies
go.
and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tara's successor, and so here we are. So how'd it go?
Context. All right, so they're in town. They're doing all the Stanford athletic department are here today in LA, schmoozing with some alumni. It's like the coaches swing through LA, and the football coach, the basketball coach, women's basketball, and I think Bernard Muir, the AD, is here, and we're having a very exclusive invite-only kind of dinner at a super billionaire person's house.
Wow.
In Beverly Hills. This is very Stanford, okay? And I think they probably just want money. That's probably why I'm invited.
Well, sure,
Like,
sure.
How big a check can you write? But I'm like, yeah, I'll go to that person's house here in LA. Okay. Like some very, 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 he owns several sports teams, put it that way, around the world.
Okay.
And so the athletic department, they just was like, hey, Kate's coming to this. I saw you were on the list tonight. Would you want to meet for coffee before? And I was like, yeah, of course, So yeah, we met up at Phil's here in Beverly Hills, which is, the Phil's coffee. We got them down here too. And I got my little mojito coffee that they do with the mint and all that good stuff. Yeah. So it was a nice little afternoon.
All right,
in
so
the middle of the NBA playoffs.
Enjoy Stan Kroenke's house tonight. Enjoy that. That will be.
Not Stan's house.
Oh,
No.
damn.
Nice
Kate Pay. Is it Kate Pay? No. Anyway, no. We can move on to the actual conversation now.
Yeah.
Hey, would you weigh in on all of the Klay Thompson and Orlando Magic chatter? What do you know?
I think that Klay should and will take any and all calls if he can, because, look, I think he wants to retire a Warrior. I think he wants to stay with the Warriors. That just feels, for him like at the right kind of ending. He's not a guy that's motivated by money, right? He's fine, but he's about respect and the role and a chance to win. And if I think because it's gotten to this point without him having done an extension, because he didn't exactly have a great season, right? I think he had ups and downs. He was turning around. And then, do we talk about the last game? Do we talk about the 0 for 10 yet? Is that something we can bring up? Because I was hard watching. I don't know if enough time has passed that we can discuss that yet.
Yep.
So was it 0 for 10? What did he finish?
Yes, 0 for 10.
That
That's correct.
0 for 10. I'm like, I almost couldn't watch anymore after a while. I was like, this is so sad. To watch anybody go through that, right? Like, to watch any athlete go 0 for 10 like that in a big game. And so it was, I think he should listen. I think he should, because I think if he stays with the Warriors, it's going to be for a bit of a discount. He's not going to make as much as he would in Orlando or Philly or whatever team comes after him. I mean, I think his market is going to, they can pay him more, and they would probably offer him more. And then he obviously needs to see what the Warriors are going to discuss with him and what their plans are. I think the Warriors, where they really, anything and everything has to be on the table for them. With the way the season ended, with the length of time left on, in Steph's career, it's got to be something that they really, I think it's something they've really got to, look long and hard on. I'm sure Clay will wait until they figure things out. We'll probably have a better idea around the draft where they're going and what they're doing. But this is, he's got to listen, right? If you're him, and what if the Magic throw, $30 million at him a year? He's got to listen to that.
Absolutely. And the other piece of it is for the Warriors to really get better, Clay would have to come in at a really small number, not a veteran minimum number, but small enough to where they could get additional help elsewhere.
Yeah.
How much does the ego part of it play into Clay? If he's making less than Draymond and Wiggins and Steph, would he be able to stomach that?
I think so. I think so. It's, Clay he played really well in that second unit, I think, because it was a good role for him. He was getting open looks. The spacing was better. I think he really liked playing with Chris Paul when he was able to. And I think he embraced that role. But to me, Clay, if you know him, I don't purport to know him the way, the coaches do or anybody who's really close to him. But from the guy that I've gotten to know over the years and having covered him and stuff, I think the way that they come at him, I think the way they approach him about whatever it is they're going to present to him, whether it's, the role that he would play, the contract that they would offer him, et cetera, I think that's going to matter almost more than whatever the number figure is.
That's interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Ramona, here's the thing, and I don't know Clay, but I have sort of arrived at this gut feeling in watching the way things unfolded the last couple of years that Clay might almost want to leave based on very much so feeling kind of dissed by the organization with it, whether it be a contract offer, being moved to the bench. You had to have all these closed-door meetings with Steve Kerr at the beginning of the year that we know about. And my thought was when he talks at the end of the year about figuring out what would be good for his mental health, I translate that as if you stay with the Warriors, you're forever going to be compared to your former self, and he can't be that anymore. So do you think there's something in his mental side that almost wants to release that?
Okay, this is me psychoanalyzing. So for all the aggregators, I have to say this is me psychoanalyzing rather than reporting on him. Okay, a lot of people around the league have said I think he would benefit from a change of scenery. Right, a lot of people when you talk and think and watch Klay Thompson. I also I think that he really is a fighter, and I think he's really proud of the legacy he has with the Warriors. And so I think deep down, remember, he's a Kobe guy. Kobe stayed. Kobe stayed with the Lakers. He still ate first, and those teams were really bad at the end, but he stayed. And so I think, I know what you're saying about the mental health and the this and the that, but I think if they approach him with respect, with an admiration for what he's done with the organization, if they approach him I'm talking ownership level, let's go to lunch, let's make him feel really good about, we appreciate everything you've done and your sacrifice. We understand, you'd be taking less here. It's got to be on thick. This is the same guy who, when he was not named one of the 75 best players of all time, really took that personally, really got upset. So there's a lot of pride that Clay has in himself and his game and his, appreciation for the role he's played over the years. And I think that the way that they approach him and whatever they're going to try to sell to him is paramount. It's everything in how they go about it, do I think he wants a Stay Clay banner on the Chase Center? Probably not. It's maybe a little cheesy, right? Marcus, you and I go back to the Dwight Howard days in LA, right? Stay D12, right? I don't know. Do they need a plane with that over the Bay Area? I don't know if you need to go that far, but like he needs to feel the love and he needs to feel the respect because you're probably asking him to take less if he stays. And so to me, it's that's paramount for him. And I think he's like the word that keeps coming into my head is pride. Like I think he's a very prideful man. Prideful about his accomplishments and his abilities, and I think he knows more than anybody what he can and can't do still. He's very self-aware. Whether or not he handles it the right way all the time, I think even he knows when he's not doing it right, like he even admits it later, right? And so, like, there's a lot of players at the end of their careers where they take a deal elsewhere for more money or whatever. Like, do you remember when, like, Tony Parker signed with Charlotte?
Right.
Oh, my God.
So random. There's just, like, a lot of these moments where, like, the player decides to leave because, they don't have as big a role or they have more money elsewhere or whatever. And they almost never work out well. They almost never, like, no one's ever going to love you like the team that you had your best years with. Now, you're going to be compared to that, but they're not going to love you like they did, elsewhere. He goes, what is he going to go to Orlando and they're going to love him? Not, come on. Like, it's just not the same as staying with the organization that you grew up in.
That's true. And the other part of it, though, from the Warriors' standpoint is if Klay does come back and you're not able to do anything else because his money is higher than the salary cap would allow and you want to stay out of the second apron, how does this team go about getting better and going from a 10 seed to actually being in the thick of it again?
Yeah, I mean, that's something they've got to figure out. And I think the last time I was on the show with you, I mentioned I think they'll go big game hunting. I still think that's the Warriors' ethos, right? Like that's how they roll. They always go big game hunting, and so let's see what they're able to pull off. They're going to have to get creative. They're going to have to work hard for it. I don't see any world in which they trot back out the same team and just hope it goes better. I think they make some changes and they try to get this team better because you just don't have a guy like Steph Curry on your team and a mediocre cast around him. You just don't do that.
Ramona Shelburne, ESPN, is with us here on 95.7 The Game, Willard and Dibs. Okay, let's talk about big game hunting and how they go about doing it. To what level is Jonathan Kuminga on the table?
Not at all.
Really?
I think he's pretty much look, it's going to get complicated because of his extension talks and how much money they have, but I think they'll do everything they can to keep him. I mean, I don't think they want to even talk about him.
So then how do they go big game hunting? Like, what do they have to acquire the big game?
I think they have a pretty good set of assets. There's some other good young players on the team outside of Kuminga. Okay, they have draft picks. They have Wiggins. They have Gary Payton. They have a lot of options there. They have a lot of optionality and like decent contracts. And then there's also the blue chip, which is Chris Paul. That contract is very interesting for a lot of teams for a lot of reasons. Right now, the Warriors could certainly just keep him and take the savings themselves, but that's a great trade asset for a lot of teams.
Even the fact that he's just turned 39 and he's making $30 million, you think there's enough teams out there that would want to have the Chris Paul expiring deal, even though you're only going to get him for 26 minutes a night? Oh,
I'm not talking about trading him where he goes and plays someplace. Yeah, that's a non-guaranteed contract. That's like only a partial guarantee, right?
Correct.
So that's one of those contracts like you could trade for him and then just decline the option and save yourself a ton of money. That's why that's attractive.
Yep.
And then he would be free to sign wherever he wants.
What's it going to take to get Brandon Ingram? What do you think happens there?
That's a great question. I know that name is out there because New Orleans obviously wants to shake things up and yada yada yada. That might be a Kuminga question, right? Like they're gonna, if you're trading a star, you need to get a star back or somebody with star potential. I don't see them trading Kuminga, but maybe they have plenty of draft picks. I don't think that's what they need. Right? You need somebody who can grow into a star. So do they believe anybody fits that level? I don't know. There's other teams I think they're more well positioned to pry somebody out of there.
If you're talking about big game, would Kevin Durant fall under that category? Do you think he's going to be available for the big game hunting Joe Lacob and company?
I think anything in Phoenix is on the table, right, based on how bad they did this year compared to the expectations. I don't think they want to trade Kevin Durant. I don't think he wants to ask for a trade again. I think they'd rather make that work there, but that's a tricky situation there. So because of the second apron, because of the new cap rule. So without saying anything to get me aggregated, I think that's a name that everybody's going to bring up until they just say we're not trading him, because you can just do the math, right? And I think I don't think anybody would want to trade Booker. I mean, he's younger and really still on the climb, and then Beal has a no trade clause, so that's prohibitive for him. So that's there's only certain ways out of that for Phoenix, or they could just run it back in Phoenix. That's what they were positioned to do, is just run it back and say, okay, let's run it back and see if we do better when all our guys are healthy.
Ramona, do you have an MVP vote?
I do.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Jokic.
Do you know who won?
Jokic won.
What's that?
I assume Jokic is winning.
He did. We wanted to break that news to you. That just came down. Yeah.
Okay, just came down. Okay, I voted for Jokic. But you know what? I'll tell you my balance. I'm telling you. I voted Jokic won, and I really wanted to vote Shea too, but I ended up voting for Brunson second. I gave him a second place vote.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit out of the box there, but I just was like, who is more valuable to his team? I mean, Shea is amazing and an amazing year, but I just wanted to recognize Brunson. I thought he had just an incredible season. And then, he's continuing to prove that. And then I did Shea third, and I think Luka fourth, and I think I voted Tatum fifth. I remember right.
All right. Well, you nailed it.
Nikola
Jokic.
To me, it was he had an amazing regular season. His stats are off the charts. He's, then Denver, up until the last day of the year was in first place in the West. I think Shea would have got a lot more. What was the vote count?
Oh, I didn't. All we've got so far, I don't have that yet. Just Jokic won. That's all we got.
I think that was coming out at 4:30, right? Or Eastern,
Yep.
Let's see. I'm looking at it. Yeah. I just want to see if they what the counts are. Let me see if I can check it real quick. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how many people voted for Shea and for Luka. How did it actually break?
Ramona, while you're looking that up, since we're all sitting here talking about the Warriors and big game hunting, is there a way for you to handicap this? Who is that player who, or a couple of players who have the highest likelihood of the Warriors landing them?
Oh. You're just determined to get me aggregated, huh?
Yep.
Determined. You know what my Twitter feed will look like if I answer your questions directly over the next 3 days?
Just look for the MVP thing and then turn your phone off for the night.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
That'll work out well.
I could not tag you if that would make you happier.
My Google alerts for 3 days.
Yeah, we can just say that sources tell 95.7 the game. We don't need to tag you.
Look, I think, obviously I think they'll have a chance to make another case of LeBron at some point, right? They had that, they kicked the tires on that. I would have said Karl Towns, but I don't think Minnesota's going to do anything now.
Yep.
They're rolling. I think they might win it this year if they keep playing like this. There's other good names, like Ingram's obviously a name that people talk about. The Lauri Markkanen in Utah, right? There's a lot of names out there. Do they have the assets to get any of that done? Will those teams want to trade those players? I don't know. And they certainly will have competition. But to me, the most interesting thing is I don't think Milwaukee will do anything this year. I think they run that back and just hope people get healthy. But that's obviously a team that has a couple stars on it. That's an interesting team. Let's just put it that way, right? But I think Milwaukee runs it back this year, so that's probably a next year conversation if they continue to underachieve.
And other than that, like Paul George, just as a free agent, he's going to wind up going somewhere to a team that has a ton of money. He wouldn't be on the Warriors' radar, would he?
I mean, obviously they would need a player like that, but I don't see how they get him. That's hard. That's hard to do. You know? Like, everybody would like a Paul George type. He's really good. He's a wing, a 3-and-D guy, you know, who can also create and score 30 points for you. But, like, he's got to be he's I don't know how you do a sign and trade for him. I think that's got to be a free agent thing.
Ramona, what's your take on how smart it is to try to build a team this way? We all get the whole deal here. Steph's only got a little bit left, and they want to maximize it. But if you look around the league, you watch what Minnesota's doing, Oklahoma City, like even the way the Warriors once upon a time came together. What's your take on team building through the draft and taking time versus trades and free agency? I
mean, everyone this year seems to be the ones who are winning this year are the ones who took their time, who have more of a team. You know, I remember covering the Lakers Nuggets, and it was like so obvious. Like the Nuggets have been together; they know where each other are going. They have such a camaraderie. Like there's nobody thinking they're going to fire the coach if they have a bad game. You know, like that kind of camaraderie is really important. And you know, you see the teams that are winning right now are the ones that have like a full team. They're not just 3 or 4 stars. There's depth and there's. What was I'm trying to remember. There was a bench stat for Philly. I think they scored 11 points. Their bench in that series. 11 points in your bench as an average. Like you're not going to win. I don't care how good Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid are. You know, like you can't win if you're getting nothing from your bench. If your third scorer does what Tobias Harris did in that series. Like same thing with the Lakers. Like they have 2 stars and sort of a third in D'Angelo or Austin, depending on who has a better game, but like they just didn't have enough. And now even look at Denver; they don't have enough against Minnesota. Minnesota's even deeper. Oklahoma City comes at you in waves, and like that's not even to mention all the draft picks they have that they can still try to trade into something bigger and better, right? So I think like team building right now is like you've got to draft and develop those players because the only way to sort of build those teams and build somebody is like when you get Anthony Edwards on the first max contract, right? When you get all those players like that, the same way the Warriors did, right? You had the Steph Curry contract, and that's how they were able to go on that run. Is because Steph didn't make the giant supermax right away. They had that manageable contract, and they could get all those players in the door. So I think the era of like, what we saw in Phoenix this year, what we saw with LA, like they're cautionary tales.
No doubt about it. Ramona, great stuff. We are drafting all of the tweets right now, so just get ready.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And the vote totals, Jokic got 79 of the, I guess, 99 first-place votes.
Who finished second, Shea?
Yes. Shea second, yes. Luka third.
Luka third. Yeah, Brunson's all the way down at fifth.
Fifth.
Oh, he got fifth. Okay, good.
He got fifth.
Who was fourth there? Tatum?
Fourth was Giannis Antetokounmpo, future Warrior.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if...
I know. I mean, look, he had a great year, but they were such a disappointing team. It's hard to compare his season to other great Giannis years,
Yeah. Good thing for Nikola they didn't vote today, huh?
Oh, God.
I know.
That was a rough one to watch the other night.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
I've never seen him look like that. And,
they've lost their composure.
Totally.
Let's see if, let's see what happens, but to me, it's let's look at these first place votes. Shea got 15 first place votes.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
More than, I guess I'm only one of 3 people who gave him a second place vote for Brunson.
You're one of one, Ramona.
You agree with that, though? I feel good about that vote.
It looks even better now when you start looking at the way the playoffs are playing out. Ramona, you're the best. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Go.